Welcome back. Today is day 7 of 50 Days of Fitness, and I'm sitting here looking at my monitor and I feel so tiny. but, but there's a reason. I'll get to that in a minute. So we're at day 7. We are a week out. I don't know how you're doing. If you were following along, I'd like to know kind of how's it going for you? Are you just doing the exercises? Are you doing the sugar fast? Are you having any problems? Kind of how are you feeling? Are you noticing any changes? Because at a week, we're going to start noticing some things. We're not, obviously, we're just starting. So we're not going to expect big changes, but I think you'll begin to notice some things. For me, the biggest thing has been the weight loss. I would say that, so yesterday, if you watched the video yesterday, I had a follow-up appointment for cancer for my radiologist. And so my official weight at the radiologist was 212. And so today I weighed at home and I weighed 210. Now, I think that in fairness, yesterday when they weighed me at the doctor's office, obviously I wasn't, I was wearing clothes. Usually here, when I'm weighing myself, I'm doing it as I get in the shower, so I don't have any clothes on. So some of that was a difference in weight, difference in scale, but nevertheless, a week ago I was at 218, and this morning I weighed 210. And so that's 8 pounds in 1 week, and that's actually quite a bit. That's a lot. And so I think I mentioned in previous videos, I don't expect that every week. Each week, you're not going to do like a straight line. So I don't expect to lose 8 pounds again next week. But we'll see. We'll see what it is next week. So kind of getting back on task, today I thought I'd talk a little bit about the exercises and kind of equipment that you might have. Now, the main idea here is that you don't really need much equipment at all. I mean, you can really make a big difference just by doing body weight stuff. But we have to always remember body weight, lots of times we talk about body weight as though that is kind of less strenuous, but it depends. It depends upon what you're doing. So by adding actual weights or adding bands or some sort of resistance, you can adjust that a little bit. So let's think about something like, if you're trying to lift your whole body, like a pull-up, that's a good example. If you're doing a pull-up, you're lifting your entire body weight. And so like for me, that would be 210 pounds. And that's quite a bit to pull up. But if you are, if you have a weight machine or if you have some sort of resistance thing, you can do an exercise that has less than that. So using weights doesn't always mean more strenuous. It can actually mean less strenuous. And, it allows you to build on things. So I mentioned some of the exercises I'm doing. One of the tools that I'm using that I thought I would talk about today are bands. Now you see why I had the camera so far away. I got these off of Amazon. I bought a set of them. I don't really remember how much they cost. And if you look at the bands, they're different colors. And each one has a resistance amount put on the band. So like this green one is 30 pounds and the yellow is 10 and the blue is 20. And let's see, I think I have the red on the wrong one. The red is 50. So you have a whole bunch of different bands and they come, generally they have clips and handles. And they also have some things so that you can, they'll fit in a door. So like if you want to put them through it's sort of like a little sleeve and put it in the door and close the door, you can use that against that to do some exercises as well. But that's kind of a simple thing that you can have at home. it also, if you travel and you want to exercise when you travel, it's also an easy thing to put in your suitcase. You can, I don't know that I personally probably wouldn't take all of the bands, but I might take one that, just to have if I'm going to travel and I want to keep doing things. So that's one of the things I'm using. So I'll tell you, and these probably seem pretty obvious, but this is the one that I've been using this week. And so right now I'm doing 12 reps. This is a 40-pound band of a bicep curl, which is just very simple. It's just I step on the band and just do a curl. And so I've been doing 12 of these, and so as you know, I have to earn my coffee. I earned my first set of coffee this morning. And so I do 12 of these. And then right after that, I do a shrug. And I don't know if you can see it from the side, but I just hold the handle and I do a shrug. And I'm doing the shrug and the biceps at the same, so they're doing the same weight amount and the same number. So I do 12 shrugs. And, again, now I will say I've added quite a few exercises now. So right now I have 4, 7, I'm doing 9 exercises every time I do a set. So it has gone up. Like when I first talked to you, it's like you do a few squats. I mean, I'm not even sure that takes you a minute. It probably takes, 30 seconds to a minute. And we talked about if you're not to a squat yet, you can do, work your way up to it. But so with the squats, I mean, you could do that and that's less than a minute. But I was adding on and it was taking about 3. And I would say now it's more than 3. It's probably about 5 minutes. And then I don't do it again until I'm ready for another cup of coffee. And so I did yesterday. I mentioned yesterday that I'd gone to the doctor and I wasn't sure. I didn't get to start until afternoon, but I did. I managed to get 4 of them in. And that was one of the things. I was kind of telling myself, it's like, saying you can't do it when we're talking about 3 to 5 minutes, when you're maybe doing something else anyway, I mean, that doesn't really cut it. So I was able to do that. So anyway, when you're working through, now you can probably come up with some things where you don't need to have a band, but it is a nice, convenient way. It's a simple thing that you can have for working out at home. And it's easy to store. I have a hook in a closet. I just hang them all over a hook in the closet. And I do hang this over a doorknob in my office so that I see it, because that's sort of a reminder. It's like, oh yeah, you gotta do these things. You can't sit there and you can't use the excuse you don't have time. You can't have the excuse you don't have the stuff here. You don't. I mean, it kind of gets rid of all your excuses. So I don't know how you're doing. I can tell a difference. I hope you can too. So we're going to call it, that's going to be it for the day. Like I say, I will try to keep these between, say, 6 and 10 minutes. And so we'll call that good for today. And we are finishing up a week. 1 full week. Tomorrow is day 8. And, these 50 days will be over before you know it. I mean, it's going to be, you're going to be surprised. And we'll see kind of where we are. I'm really kind of wondering how it's going to go, but I got to have confidence in this. It's like, we'll see how it goes. But one thing that kind of, we're going to be talking about diet a lot. We're going to be talking about exercise a lot. We're going to be talking about lifestyle and things. And so here's one of the things I'm thinking about. It's like, man, if I've lost 8 pounds this week, and I know that I won't lose 8 pounds every week, but it's like that could be a lot over 50 days if I keep losing. So one of the things that we may have to deal with down the road is we don't want to get lose too much weight. Now I know you're like, that's a crazy thing to think about, and yeah, that's right. But it's all going to depend upon where you're starting. For me, I was 40 pounds heavier last year, so I'm not like super heavy now. But I have to get rid of like some body fat, some visceral fat, and so I do need to get lean. But we may have to increase the amount that we eat. We just have to eat it within the guidelines that we have. So if I'm still having no sugar, I may need to add another meal. Throw another steak on the grill, something like that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. That's a pretty good problem to have. Anyway, that extra little amount took us over 10 minutes. So I'm going to stop. Have a great day, and I hope I'll see you back tomorrow for day 8 of 50 Days of Fitness. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic day.